Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
I need new music.
Discover new music now. JJO.
Madison Solid Rock 94.1 JJO. It's Brock, and welcome to Discover New Music. That's right, where we dive into all the great new stuff coming out right now that you're hearing on air, online, all over the place. Of course, JJO, your home for new music discovery. And joining me today, honestly, a fella that doesn't really need an introduction, a band that is from a band that is a pillar in the industrial rock genre, but also just in the rock world as a whole. Walter from Stabbing Westward. Walter, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. It's really good to hang with you.
New album, the band's first new LP in 20 years. Right now, people getting a taste of it with I Am Nothing. And actually, just listening to it as I was kind of prepping for the interview, I have my little daughter, my eight-month-old next. She loved it, by the way. So just so you know, adults and babies love the new music. So you're good there.
Perfect. I need to start working on some lullaby versions.
There you go. Oh, Standing Westward Lullabies. I love it. 20 years. That's a lot of time between records. How did this come to be? What was the series of events that got us to a new Stabbing Westward record?
All right. Well, I'll try to boil it down. In 2001, beginning of 2002, we could kind of see that things are moving in the wrong direction we had kind of peaked. We had our fan base and things started to go a little south with the way things were going, which is fine. It happens. We had a great long career making records with Columbia and Koch. And we said, you know what, let's just cut this thing while we're still ahead. And so we went our separate ways. Band broke up and I went into radio. And Christopher started a band called The Dreaming. And we just kind of went our separate ways. He and I were best friends forever. And we went our separate ways. Then we had a bit of a falling out with some business things that happened. But come 2014, Christopher hits me up out of the blue and says, you know what, my dad just passed away and I want to come and do a hang. And I'm like, you know what, 30,000 foot view. He's my brother. He's, one of my closest friend in life. And I just need to take the 30,000 foot view and go put the business up behind as a friend. We have to hang. And we just bonded and reconnected and spent 18 hours together hanging out in the small town we grew up and met in. And at that point, he's just like, hey, you want to do music again? I'm like, yeah, sure. And it led to the last Dreaming record that we did, which came out in 2015, I think. And at that point, we were playing some Stabbing songs in the set, but obviously things were kind of moving back in that direction. And our friends at Cold Waves, a festival here in Chicago, said, one of my dream goals, Jason, the organizer, said, is to get Stabbing Westward to play this thing. Would you play a pre-party for us? And we're like, you know what? It's for a charity. All right. And so we put it together for the first time. It sold out in 3 minutes, which blew our minds. And we're like, oh, all right. So we just started doing more shows, and that led to us writing these tunes. So it's been a work in progress. Writing these songs has taken about 5 years to get them out, to get them together and find the right vehicle with Cop International as our new label. And the support we've had there. We are really finally feeling some love in the scene that we've always wanted to be a part of, which is always a good feeling. Things are awesome for us right now. So it took a while to get back to this place, but we're to the point where we can do things the way we want to and be a part of the scene we want to be a part of. And we don't have the pressure of, oh my God, we have to write hit songs and all of that kind of stuff. This record is going to go back to the vision that Christopher and I had from the very beginning to who we wanted to be, the natural progression of Stabbing Westward without, influences from record labels or management or whatever. This is as honest as it gets for us, which is awesome.
When I first heard I Am Nothing, right there, you knew it was a Stabbing Westward song. It's a very back to the roots of where it was. Was that something you guys, when you got back together, started writing these new songs and, after playing that event, was it like, oh, we got to make it this way, we got to make it sound like old Stabbing Westward? Or is it just, how does that kind of flow out to make the new stuff?
No, actually, honestly, I Am Nothing is one of the last songs to come together for the record. But when you heard it in the grand scheme of everything, it's just like, you're right. You're 100% right. It sounds like, like us at the peak of where we were. And I kind of thought, I think that's the best first listen to remind everybody who we were, where we came from, and just get everybody comfortable again. But it wasn't, the forethought going into it. It was really just, I like this groove. I like this. And Christopher he's amazing at writing lyrics. I think that's always been one of the biggest things about Stabbing is his ability to connect with an audience with his lyrical subjects. I'm not the lyric guy. So he is the master of it and I don't need to get in his way, but he always has been able to tap into things that everybody can relate to. And I think that's always been a part of it. And then you toss into it, the grooves and the bass lines and all of the sounds. And I think we were able to create. So I think it was really just going back to that basic. You do your vocals and build that connection, and together we're craft the sound that goes along with it. And I think when you listen to the whole album, it's going to have those things that I think a good Stabbing record has, which has high, heavies and lights and, hard and fast and slow. It's a journey from start to finish. And I think that this record achieved that, just getting it just right, which is why it took a little while to get it together.
I'm Brock, and we're discovering new music from Stabbing Westward on JJO. That rush that has been a part of the industry for so long. We got to write this record. We got to put these songs out. We got to do this tour. With the craziness of the pandemic, that almost kind of took a back seat, and that rush has been taken away. And maybe for you and where you're sitting, is that kind of a blessing in disguise with having that slowdown effect?
It is, because it gave us the time to get it right. We were able to put the team that was behind the Darkest Days and the With a Blister Burn records. So our bigger records, we were able to get John Fryer involved, and our mastering guy, Tom Baker, is a part of it. And we were kind of able to reassemble the dream team, if you will, to create the sound that we had. But I agree with you. I think because there's no rush to hit the road to get these shows going because things were shut down for 2 years, people were able to slow down. And I think we're going to get better quality material in general in the music business because of that.
Seeing the full track listing, and obviously I Am Nothing, an awesome starting track. For you though, digging a little deeper, is there maybe a song that stands out a little bit more if you had to pick one to give to someone like, hey, here's one track I want to hear off this new album. Do you have one in mind?
Ghost, I think, is probably one of my favorites. I think it's got a lot of musical depth in it. It's got a lot of melody, a lot of musical depth, and an incredible subject matter. I think Christopher and I kind of went back and forth as to, it's such a great song, why put it towards the end of the record? But in putting the sound of the record together, and then the whole record ends on an incredible note. It's a bit of a downer, but man, what an incredible song the last song, The End, is. And it's actually a song that's been kicking around that Christopher and I did years and years and years and years ago. So it's like it finally found the right place for it to sit in. So I like Damaged Goods is great. Everything's got a different sound to it, but I think Ghost is probably one of my favorites.
The full Stabbing Westward album, Chasing Ghosts. It's so cool to see this because it's very familiar. It's almost like a comfort food, nostalgia, but still with that new twist on it. You mentioned something, and you and I were kind of talking off air before we started this interview. I didn't know that you are in radio, because and for people listening, you'll have to check out the video, vice versa, but you have this nice home studio. You do radio in the Chicago area. How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing radio in Chicago basically for about 12 years now. So it's like a couple of years in Seattle in the middle there, but was doing alternative station here in Chicago, and now came back and we've just put on a rock station here. So very excited to bring the rock back to Chicago. But yeah, I mean, radio is early days in college. I was doing college radio, then I did Top 40, and then I had the band on the side. And at some point, everybody in the band said, look, we're all quitting our jobs. We're going to apply everything we have into the band. Are you with us or not? And I'm like, I have health benefits. I have insurance. I have a full-time job. But I didn't want to spend my life going, oh man, I should have. What if? Yeah. So I did, and it paid off and it worked. So like radio is always that thing in the background. I was either going to play music for people on the radio or in a band. Ended up doing both. You're
living what every radio DJ wants. All of us radio DJs are really just guys who weren't good enough to get on stage. That's what it is. We can do the announcement. So you got to do both. So I'm very, very jealous. Is it hard for you not to just, here's a song from a band called Stabbing Westward? I know. Do you always play your stuff, or do you avoid it on air?
You know what? I'm the guy that would try to avoid it, or sometimes I'll have fun and talk about it in third person or something like
nice.
that. I don't hide who I am to my radio audience, you know. But I don't wear it as a badge. I don't beat my chest about it. It's just like if I can pull an anecdote because I had a show with whoever or whatever, you know, like I can share that story and bring some context to it. But otherwise, it's just like, you know what? I'm just like you. I'm just like the guy listening. And it's collectively we can all hang together and just be regular guys.
Yeah, this Walter DJ plays a lot of Stabbing Westward. This is crazy. 4 songs.
I'll meet you at the gumball machine, bro. I'll buy you all the gumballs. You're on me.
I have rapid fire. This is just to get to know you. Don't overthink it. Just go. All right, here we go. Amps that go to 10 or amps that go to 11?
Go to 10.
Go to 10. Chili dog or corn dog?
Chili dog.
Cool Ranch or nacho cheese Doritos?
Nacho cheese.
Oh, wow. Surprising. Would you rather see the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot?
Loch Ness Monster.
Would you rather take 100 punches from Mike Tyson or 100 punches from the Where's the Beef lady?
Where's the beef? It's got to hurt way less.
Way less. One punch from Mike Tyson and you're done, man.
I'm done. I'm out.
Very good. Now we know a little bit more about Walter from Stabbing Westward. Thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it, brother.
You got it, man. Thanks, man.
Discover new music with me, Brock, anytime on the homepage of WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcast. The JJO Discover New Music Podcast. Listen, rate, share, and subscribe.